Hello, Teddy.
Yes, I'm able to get you so clear. Yeah, I don't know how my sound is on the side.
Yeah. Loud and clear, sir. Thank you very much, Teddy, for joining us on this podcast. Appreciate your time, Mr. Teddy Katongo. Am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, that's the correct one, Teddy Katongo. That's a real typical Zambian name.
Yeah. Teddy, tell me how's everything? How's Bali? I know you were there doing some representation of Africa, and that was a good moment, man. To see you there representing Zambia, of course, in the continent. How was that?
Oh yeah, what I can say is, I just put it, it's a rare privilege because I also understand that there are other people out there who have they have the skill but they don't have opportunities, they don't have like people to support them, and for me that's the first thing that I bring out whenever I travel, because I believe I'm the bridge between my people and the stakeholders out there. And for me, what I believe is we need to enhance much, especially in the knowledge of what we are doing. And this is why I advise people who are traveling, who are going out for conferences, make sure they know what they're talking about. And for me, this is the bridge that I've built. And this is why you find most of the times you find I'm in a village, I'm working with people on the ground because, I'm able to tap into the emotions of the community. I'm able to tap into, what my people want to see change. Because I believe, change starts somewhere. And I believe even little change is change. And for me, it was good because I went there under the capacity of the World Youth Parliament for water. And a week before the actual conference in Bali, we had like more capacity building on youth representation. And we went in the community, we had the mangrove cleaning. So it was nice. And after that, we saw the results. Actually, there were a lot of youths and we were represented well. And for me, that's a future that I want to see, because I would love to see youths pick it up today. Because long are the days, and the days have gone where they say, youths are leaders of tomorrow. And this is why I always emphasize that no, youths are actually leaders of today. The only thing that we have between tomorrow and now is actually today. So I feel youths, they need to carry the mantle like right now, because the future is in our hands. The things that are affecting us, we are the ones who are going to remain. And I believe we are the solution.
Powerful statement. Like you hit it right in the head, Teddy. Because this podcast is all about that. We're not saying tomorrow. We're not saying the future. No, that's old. That's old news. That's why we're saying African leaders in sustainability right now. You understand? And the recognition of this needs to happen right now, not tomorrow. You're doing a great job. I can see from what I've seen on your LinkedIn, and I'd like to hear more actually about the magazine that you guys are running at the moment. The Zambezi magazine, if I'm not sure if I'm saying the name correctly, as well as the projects that you are running on the ground there. I think that's depending on where you prefer to start and which part you'd like to share with the world about that, you can go for it.
Oh yeah, what I can say is, the Zambia Youth Parliament for Water, we took another way in. in advocating for especially issues that are challenging our communities. Because, we are a very youthful organization, and our impact needs to look, like more youthful. And seeing like in the generation that we are living in, people are more on phones than on TVs. So this is why we said, okay, we are going to go the social media way. Let us utilize the internet, because when you go on the internet today, you find that 95% are youth. So if you're going to target, a youthful group, and if you're going to mobilize the group, I think the best way to go is to go through social media. Yeah, but how are you going to attract the youth? Because others, they don't like reading, and others, they understand stuff through videos, others through documentaries. And this is why, we have created so many packages. Yeah, so we have created so many packages so that we can make climate, more interesting. We can make the water related issues. We talk about wash, we talk about girls, in villages not having pads. We talk about, people in those deep villages who don't know the difference between weather and climate change. How are we going to teach them? So the films that we create, the documentaries that we create, are aimed to stir up discussions in these communities, because when we go there, we are going to screen them. Then we ask the community, what challenges that they face, or what have they seen in the movie, and what are they going through. So we feel we are also the bridge between the communities and the stakeholders that we have. I'm sure you saw there's a documentary that we did. It is for Bombwe village. They drink the same water actually with animals there. And nearby, they don't even have health facilities. So you see how water issues will bring, a lot of complications in the community. So this is why we've tried to tap into a lot, because I lately, as the Zambia Youth Parliament, we can say we don't have any funding. We're actually doing this out of our own pockets. This is money that we've invested just to help the community, and we are not backing down. And this is why we keep on coming with a lot of stuff, so that we can touch, various stakeholders, we can touch numerous people, we can touch different groups. And for us to create the magazine, we saw like, okay, since we are doing all this stuff, we are helping at a community level. What are we doing, to amplify voices of other organizations? So this is why we came up with the magazine. It's also a tool to amplify voices of other organizations who are doing similar works. And also in there, we've made it so tactical, because there are organizations that are just coming in and they're just growing. So we are just getting, organizations that are growing, and also they are potential helpers. So we are putting them on one page. Maybe, who knows, they might be connected to somebody who likes their way, because nowadays it's all about networking. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And we are going through a lot, and we are trying our best, man, to fix whatever we can, to heal whatever we can. I have a name for the youth, for the African youth. We're not youth, we are healers, basically.
True.
We need to start change. We need to start also addressing the wordings and how we classify ourselves. As long as we are classified as youth, we'll remain as youth and unheard. And like you said, funding is one of the issues. And there's trouble on the ground, there's situations that we're going through, and our voices are still not heard by our leaders in this continent of ours. Instead, look, now you are traveling, taking flights and going somewhere far away to get the attention of someone who's right here next to you. You see, it's a challenge. And this is one of the questions that was actually asked by Ndando. She was on the previous, we did her podcast previously. She's in Zimbabwe. She works with biodiversity, and they help local schools and communities power up with electricity using what do I call this? Recyclables, using trash and converting it into electricity. So I asked her, what question does she have for the next person we are going to interview? And which is you.
Oh my.
So it's going to be a very tough question because you just touched on it a little bit. I'm going, how do we get funding as the youth? That is the question.
Okay. What I can say is, okay, this is from my own, it's from my own perspective, I mean. Yeah, so I feel, you know, how you get funding as a youth is, you know, because nowadays youth are deemed as more talkative and they are not doing anything. Like all they do is going online, going to speak. I feel you can attract funding when, you know, you start something at least, because you can't say I need funding when you're just in your bedroom, you're not advocating in your bedroom, you're just sleeping around. At least if you're engaging the community, you know, people will be able to see, okay, there are things lagging behind. At least the guy is trying. I feel, you know, it's high time as youths we get our words into action, because I usually get disappointed even when I go for conferences. I see a youth out there saying, oh no, we need more resources, we need more what? You know, actually the truth is those guys out there, they know that you need resources. But the question is, what are you doing? You know, so I feel youths should remove the word resources or funding, but let them put in partnership, because that's the correct word to use now. Like, okay, we are doing A, B, C, D, and for now, we would want just, you know, more partnerships so that we can amplify our works, we can amplify our voices. I feel it's a little bit like that. And as the Zambia Youth Parliament for Water, the way we've been mobilizing resources is we saw, you know, we are a useful group and youths have different skills and you can utilize your skills, because most of us, we've partnered with an organization that uses media as a tool for social change. That's PP Media Impact. And we have another one, that's Easy Zambia. You know, these guys have different skills and me, I'm good at marketing. So the thing is, we say, okay, if we're going to a company, we need to offer value, because you tell me, my brother, today, people are only going to invest where they see value. Even the money that is coming to us, it's not just money they are flashing out. No, they're investing in value. And once they see value, they are going to invest. And this is why we've come together, we have different skills, and we approach companies, we say, okay, I'm a good marketer, I can do for you graphics, we can do A, B, C, D, we shoot videos, but in turn, you know, you can help support the works of our organization. I feel this is how we've marketed ourselves, because, you know, we don't want to be like old people, you are busy sleeping, waiting for some big money that you don't know whether it will come or not. The thing is, you start on the ground, you start pushing. Who knows? Maybe somebody, you know, will just like you out there and say, oh, okay, since you guys, you have the skill, I feel for now, let us work much on collaborations. Let's work much on partnerships. Because once you talk about resources, you know, people will definitely see that, oh, okay, these guys are just in for the cash. They are only in for the money. But if they see what you've been trying to do, they'll be like, oh, okay, this is passion at its best. You know, when you don't have funding, you keep on going. It's quite amazing. I think for me, that's my opinion. I don't know whether I've answered the question or not.
You did answer the question extensively, and you answered me also, because I have a lot of questions around funding, and I like the way that you used partnerships instead of asking for money. Let's work together. That outlined everything actually, and yeah. And on the ground, Teddy, how you said you are using social media to engage the youth more. and you are trying different ways of communicating with the youth. You are using the magazine as well as a way of communication. You're using social media, and how long have you, what projects, how has that been going actually for you? That engagement with the community and the youth in general since you started, how has it gained? What have you learned from it? What are the positives? What are the challenges? What's happening? What are you talking about to the youth?
Okay, I feel, in this journey, I've learned a lot. I actually started this journey in 2019 and I gave up, that's like my testimony. And, something made me realize when I was working for an organization that helps persons with disabilities. And, I realized my passion there. There's somebody who said, you need to understand between, your work and your job, because they say a job is what you were trained to do, but your work is definitely what you were born to do. So I realized, a job can end, but if you have a mission, you have a work, your work will never end. So for me, I started, developing this passion. And, I feel if you're going to get into advocacy, if you're going to engage the community. Yeah.
So tell me. So okay, just to cut you off there a little bit, did you know that this is where you are going, or you, like you said, you just identified it when you were doing this project with this organization, and you found yourself there, and you found the passion there?
Okay, so I feel from the start, I knew where I was going because, I always tell people water is attached to my life because I grew up in a village, where I used to move like 7 to 8 kilometers just to go and fetch water. So growing up, it affected me and it almost affected my performance at school. I saw how my other friends, when they're in school, they used to be tired, and others used to fail exams because always fatigue and we were too young. And others, because of the long distances, when it comes to girls, they were taken advantage of, and issues of early pregnancies came in, issues of rape. Others, boys, because of long distances, easily engaged in bad vices. They start drugs in the way when you are going to fetch water. Somebody, just starts smoking at an age where, you don't even understand. So I saw how, these issues can breed a lot of issues that we overlook as a society. So for me, it came to my heart and I said, okay, I feel when I grow up, I really need to address this challenge because, it's been something that has been part of my life. And this is why when I had to take up the mantle, I said, okay, I'm going to go full time, whether this works or not, whether the community receives it or not. For me, it will be just, speaking on behalf of them, whether they like me or not, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we go through that. We go through those. We're fighting a big battle. That's it. It's a tough one. And like myself also, I didn't know that I would be doing this. I was not expecting myself to do this. Especially being captured by water issues, like you mentioned, how they affect villages, long distances, rape, crime, pregnancies, all of those stuff, health-wise, and as well as this actually trickling down into the ocean, only to find out the ocean is also affected by all of this. So it's I was at a point in my life where I didn't know what's working for me. made music, I did businesses, I worked 9 to 5s, I volunteered, I did almost a lot of things, but only to find that this is where my calling and passion is. To make it accessible to the young people, because we were not we didn't have access to this knowledge at a young age. You know, I didn't know that there's careers in marine management, in ocean management, ocean science. I knew there was climate issues and pollution, but in terms of what the fields that are around it, there was no access to that. The only access we had was marketing, which is what I did. It was accounting, doctor, science, you know, all those careers we see on TV and social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the reasons this podcast exists, so that we can share this knowledge with the youth from primary school, preschool, high school. At least we'll get to make better decisions when we get to varsity, because there's a lot more options for them and they know what to do. They find their passions sooner. And with your voice as well, it's going to help a lot, especially with what you're doing with the magazines and the documentary. I didn't see the documentary, but I really would like to watch the documentary, because you said some disturbing things around the water issue there, which I actually want to know more of the situation that's happening on the ground. What else what other projects are you working on? I hear it's more about engaging community, which is the magazine and the documentary, as well as social media as well. Are there any physical projects in terms of or collaborations that you've had and that would perhaps maybe resolve some of the issues that you've identified in the community? What activities are there that need support?
The home of inspiration every day.
Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful.
From news,
countries across the globe have been hit by the COVID-19 virus.
Views.
There's a global trend to see an increase in GBV incidences, specifically domestic violence.
Sports.
What's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala.
And music to inspire you every day. This is Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
So tell me, Teddy, on the ground, what are you guys? What is the communities doing themselves to make sure that the water is well taken care of? Are there any projects that are being run or youth-led that are taking care of the environment?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So like I said, through, like different collaborations with our partners, we've managed, to delve into different communities, like the ones we are having on climate, on environmental protection, where we go in schools, because right here in Livingstone is a tourist capital, and you understand that most of tourism cities, especially in Africa, most of the artisans that they make, the artist staffs, they are made out of trees. So you can see that there's a lot of cutting of trees. So we are trying to change that mentality in schools, because, it's better it starts from there. When you educate a child, the children, they spread information so fast. And also, on another way, I laugh with people because most of the people that we are engaging are young girls, young women, because I tell people the easiest way to transfer information everywhere is we use three forms. We have telefax, we have telephones, and the other one is telewoman. When you tell a woman, information will be spread. So we are trying to utilize that as well. So, because we also want young girls to voice out. Because in communities, like African communities, you find girls have low self-esteem. So we are also doing some capacity building where we want girls to come out and also address these challenges, especially when it comes to sanitation and hygiene. So on another hand, I was saying, we are also trying to use sports as a useful language to bring youths together, because I've realized it's hard to bring youth in one place, because everyone is busy and they're busy with their phones. So you have to get what they like. Others like football. So when you engage them in those stuff, we bring issues to do with climate change. We bring in issues to do, with wash, and we hear what they know so that, we can see the knowledge that we'll bring into the community. And I must advise you, we have to be fast. My phone is also going low. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I understand, but I'm sure it's getting dark there. I'm taking note of that. What advice? What I'm just going to say 2 things, then we wrap up. 2 questions. What advice would you like to give to somebody that does not know anything about the space, about climate change, or anything at all? What would you say to them? And they're probably in high school. What would you say?
I feel the advice that I can give, a lot of youth is, one, they need to develop interest, because even if I bring the knowledge to you, if you don't have interest, it won't mean anything to you. So I feel the first thing is developing interest and researching more. I think, we are living in I call it an easy world, where you can learn anything online. There are a lot of people who are doing these stuff, and it's better to reach out. And where you don't know, there are people in our various communities, because they can't say it's only in Zambia, there's only one person, the whole Southern Africa, who is doing these works. No, like, we have different communities. So the key is, to be engaged. And once you engage yourself in these works, definitely you are going to be identified, because most of these sectors have, like, few people. So for me, the key is get engaged. Where you have any questions, ask, and answers are out there. So for me, I feel it all starts with you, because change starts with you. You can't change the world if you haven't changed yourself. So it all starts with you. As the Bible says, charity begins at home. So that's what I can say.
All right. Thank you, Teddy, for that. And then last one before you go. Thank you for joining us on this Africa's Leaders in Sustainability show here on Fuga Online Radio. And we'd like to say your work is being seen and being heard, and let's keep going. And I'd like to know from you, what question do you have? Come up with a question for the next leader that's going to be on the show.
Okay, like how many questions? This is going to be a little bit hard.
Just one. I'm making it more difficult for you. One question.
How do you know the life of personal coach you're about to work with is who they say they are? How do you know if they can do the job? At the Africa Board for Coaching, Consulting and Coaching Psychology, we can tell you. So, before you share your secrets and spend your money, check with us first. Visit www.abccccp.com or call us on 012-751-7608. The ABCCP, the professional body for coaches.
Starts with one word. When you're sitting with friends and sitting with family, just one word or a couple of words, one question. What do you think about climate change? And then that whole information spreads across. We need to address these issues together. We need to start having these conversations on dinner tables, over breakfast, over drinks if you drink, We need to do more in churches. I implore the churches as well to jump in on this. You have major influence on this. So if you're a church, please do the right thing. And with that, on that note, we lost Teddy. We'll wrap. I'd like to say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the show. And yeah, don't forget, coming up next, African leaders in sustainability. As the space. Vugamo. Thank you for the show. Thank you for joining in. Bye-bye.
The home of inspiration every day.
Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful.
From news,
Countries across the globe have been hit by the COVID-19 virus.
views,
There's a global trend to see an increase in GBV incidences, specifically domestic violence.
sports,
What's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala.
and music to inspire you every day. This is Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.